Today in this video we will be discussing about a dominant strategy. So here we do have two players, player A and player B. Both the players have two strategies, first and second, and the numbers you can see represents the payoffs. The numbers represented in the red colors represents the payoff for player A, and the numbers represented in the blue colors represents the payoff for player B. So what is a dominant strategy? A dominant strategy for any player is that strategy which gives him the maximum payoff regardless of any strategies adopted by his rival. So in this particular payoff matrix, suppose player A has a dominant strategy. So how do we define is that if player A has a dominant strategy, then player A will always stick to that particular strategy which is dominant regardless of the strategy adopted by player B. So let us see the dominant strategy for player A, or in other words, let us see if player A sticks to any particular strategy regardless of the strategy played by player B. So for this, let us assume that player B selects the first strategy. If player B selects first strategy, then this column will be of our interest, and player A will get a payoff of 4 if he selects the first strategy, and he will get a payoff of 2 if he selects the second strategy. Now since payoff of 4 is greater than that of 2, we can say that player A will select the first strategy. What if player B selects the second strategy? If player B selects the second strategy, this column will be of our interest, and player A will get a payoff of 5 if he selects the first strategy, and a payoff of 3 if he selects the second strategy. Now again, since 5 is greater than 3, player A will again select the first strategy. So what do we find is that player A has always selected the first strategy, or player A has always sticked to the first strategy regardless of the strategy adopted by player B. So this strategy of player A is said to be the dominant strategy of that player. So what will be the dominant strategy for player B then? In order to find this, I have just recreated this payoff matrix over here. So let's see what will be the dominant strategy of player B. So how do we see that? In order to see the dominant strategy for player B, we will see if player B will stick to any particular strategy regardless of any strategies played by player A. So to do that, let us suppose player A selects the first strategy. If player A selects the first strategy, this row will be of our interest, and player B will get a payoff of 3 if he selects the first strategy, and a payoff of 1 if he selects the second strategy. Now since 3 is greater than 1, we can say that B will select the first strategy. What if player A selects second strategy? If player A selects second strategy, this row will be of our interest, and player B will get a payoff of 5 if he selects the first strategy, and a payoff of 2 if he selects the second strategy. So since 5 is greater than that of 2, we can say that player B will again select the first strategy. So what do we find here? Again, we found that no matter what player A selects, either first strategy or second strategy, the optimal strategy for B is to play the first strategy. So this is said to be the dominant strategy for player B. So let me make it clear by reducing the size. So what do we found here? In both it's the same payoff. Both payoff matrix represents the same payoff matrix. I just recreated the matrix to show the dominant strategy for player A, and for player B, this is for A and this is for B. So in both the cases, what we found is that the dominant strategy for both the players is same. The dominant strategy for player A was the first strategy, and the dominant strategy for player B was also the first strategy. So what will be the common payoff when both the players have same strategy as a dominant strategy? So if player A adopts the first strategy and player B also adopts the first strategy, or the dominant strategy, the common payoff is 4,3. So this 4,3 is called the value of game. This is the value of game when the game is played, and the 4 payoff will be the payoff for A, and 3 will be the payoff of B. So this is how the value of game can also be calculated using a dominant strategy approach. Thank you.